Well, made a little purchase. Maybe not so little, but what do y'all think? This is going to be, use this for my bee truck. That's what I've used in the past, just a pickup that I've used for my beekeeping videos and my beekeeping work. So this video is going to be the first in hopefully a playlist showing me getting this thing rigged up and everything to be my bee truck, or as my wife already nicknamed it, the Bee Wagon, which I like that pretty good, so I think that's going to stick. So if that interests y'all stay tuned. So like I said, old Red over there, or Clifford as we call it around here, was my beekeeping pickup. I just throw whatever I needed in there, and always towing that bumper pull trailer there with sugar syrup or bee supplies, bee boxes, you know, whatever. And I have the back seat full of stuff, just crammed full. Is always a mess back there. I've been wanting to upgrade to a bee truck for a while, mainly because it's just with a pickup I have to use a gooseneck trailer and a skid steer to move my bees around, and when I move bees it always needs to be timely, and I need it to be fast and efficient, and that way was not. It got the job done, but just I wasn't happy with it. So I've been wanting to upgrade to a true bee truck, or Bee Wagon as we're going to call it, for a while. And the way that's going to make it a whole lot easier and more efficient is that thing sitting behind the forklift back there. Got an easy loader sitting in there. I've actually had it sitting in the shop we're coming up on a year now. I think it was delivered can't remember if it was February, March, or April of last year it was delivered. And I had actually ordered it the previous February. So it's been 2 years since I ordered it. Took a year to get here. If y'all don't know, they're from Australia, and they're made in Australia. But that's going to be later on in the later videos in this playlist, I'm sure. But it's going to fit on this. We're going to mount it up on this truck. Be able to use this flatbed to haul bees pretty easy, and hopefully haul lots of honey. We're going to have to do some modifications, but we'll get into that later. So what we got here is a 2019 Silverado 5500 HD. These things came back, the medium duty trucks, GM came back out with them in 2019, I believe. So this is one of the first ones. They're actually a collaboration between GM and Navistar. Navistar is the parent company of International Trucks. Navistar supplies, as far as I know, they supply the frame and the axles and stuff like that. And then GM they supply the cab. Like this is the same cab that would be on a 2500 or a 3500. Same engine that's in all GM's diesel pickups, the 6.6 Duramax. The difference with this one is you might think it has more power, but it has the same engine as like a 2500 or 3500. The L5P is the code for it, but this is actually a L5D, and a lot of people say the D is for D-rated. This actually has lower horsepower and lower torque numbers. And the reasoning for that is they want all the drivetrain components and everything to last longer. This truck was built to be a very long lasting vehicle, like 500,000 or 600,000 miles. I've actually been looking for a truck, any kind of truck similar to this. I wasn't shopping for a specific brand when I first started out. I just wanted a truck with a long enough bed, and I wanted 4-wheel drive. And when I first started out, I didn't think it'd be that hard to find, but turns out it kind of is. I had almost settled on a Dodge pickup that was a single cab, 2-wheel drive, and it had an 18-foot bed. I'd almost settled on that. Then I kind of tabled it. I was going to sit on it for a while, and I happened to find this one a while later. Decided to jump on it for a few different reasons. Basically 3 reasons that I bought it. It's a crew cab. Well, maybe 4 reasons. It's a crew cab. It's a Chevy. I'm familiar with Chevys. That's all I drive. The Duramaxes specifically. It's 4-wheel drive. I have to have 4-wheel drive for the locations I put my bees. And then the biggest thing was the wheelbase. In order to have a long enough bed to fully utilize the 16-foot radius of the Easy Loader, you need a really long bed, which means you need a really long wheelbase. And this truck actually has the longest wheelbase that's offered in these medium duty trucks. This is a 235-inch wheelbase, meaning from the center of the front axle to the center of the rear axle is 235 inches, and from the rear of the cab to the center of the axle is 120 inches or 10 feet. Pardon the highway noise if y'all can hear that. And then from the center of the axle to the rear of the chassis frame is, I believe, 72, somewhere around there, somewhere around 6 feet. So that's 16 feet in total. And right now this truck, this bed is 16 feet long. But it does sit back a little bit from the cab. And this one's a little, it came with a dump bed actually. If y'all can see this square tubing here, this channel iron for the flatbed sits on this square tubing frame here, and then there's a electrical or hydraulic cylinder back there that actually dumps this bed. It pivots at the rear. I don't need that at all. We're going to be getting rid of that and making this a rigid flatbed that bolts to the frame of the truck. And I think I'm contemplating, this is 7-inch channel. I'm contemplating cutting that off and replacing them with 5-inch channel to make it a little bit shorter. Because with boots on, I'm probably 5'10", so physics and all that's kind of working against me. So it's kind of difficult for me to reach across all the way to the bed and be able to get something if I need it. So bringing that down all, as much as I can is really going to help. So like I mentioned earlier, this is the same cab that you would see in like a 2500 HD or 3500 HD. The exact same. Got a crew cab. So I got plenty of room back here for me to hopefully not junk it up too bad, but I'm probably going to have some crap back there. And in the future, if I ever have some part-time help goes out with me to help, we got plenty of room to sit in here and not be in each other's bubble, and we can be comfortable, because I do got to travel a lot to go to all the different bee yards. So I really wanted a crew cab just for being able to store some stuff in the back seat that didn't need to go on the bed, and for other people if I ever had people in here. This is the WT trim model, or the work truck, so it's pretty dang basic. It's all manual seats, which is fine by me. No heated or cooled seats, nothing like that. The mirrors are all manual, which I absolutely hate. I like the manual extend and the manual fold back, but I absolutely hate not being able to adjust the glass from inside, because unless there's two people, it's really difficult to do in a pain in the butt. So talking to a guy right now online, hopefully I'll be able to change up some of the door wiring harnesses and get some power to my mirrors. I'll have to switch out the button plates, whatever you call those. And on the steering wheel, like a regular pickup would have the controls over here for the driver information center and whatnot, but the only buttons the work truck comes with is stuff for the cruise control. It's got the infotainment center, whatever you want to call that. I'm not too concerned with that. It's just a work truck. 4-wheel drive. I'm glad to have that. So like I said, this thing has a dump bed on it. In the back seat here is this button. I'll fire it up and let y'all see that. Pretty slow, but it does work. The dealer I bought it from was pretty proud of the dump feature. They said they had a unicorn truck because of it, but I couldn't give a rip about the dump feature. I just needed the wheelbase. So as now you can have a better visual for it. This square tubing frame sits on top of the truck frame, and it's all for this dumping mechanism. And actually my first order of business is to be getting this off of here. So now that I've talked about the features and whatnot that sold me on the truck, now let's talk about what I don't like about it. And right now, I mentioned one of them in the mirrors, so there's probably 3 things that I don't like about the truck. One being the all manual mirrors. Like I said, absolutely hate that. The second thing that I strongly dislike is, as you can see here, is a fuel filler neck here in the very rear. These trucks from the factory, you have an option. I think they all come with a rear fuel tank, 40-gallon capacity, and then they also have an optional midship fuel tank, which goes in the middle of the frame here, and it's 25 gallons. So then you'd have a fuel capacity of 65 altogether. Well, whoever ordered this truck from the factory only got the rear 40 tank. And driving this thing home from the dealer, it was getting like 9 miles to the gallon. So a 40-gallon tank, you know, who knows if you're actually getting 40 gallons in there, but say, you know, 40 gallons at 9, that's 360 miles. And with all the traveling that I do, driving to beekeep and driving to different yards and whatnot, that's not going to last long at all. I've actually checked into getting the midship fuel tank added. I kind of hit my local Chevy dealer up to do it, but they pretty much balked. They didn't want to do it, basically because of the electrical, and that's basically what's holding me up. I have all the part numbers for like all the physical parts that I would need to mount it up. There's a couple of brackets, you know, the tank, all the bolts, the fuel lines, there's a transfer pump, you know, all the basic stuff, the fuel filling neck. I've got all the part numbers for that, but what I'm just unsure of, you know, this main wiring harness that runs inside the frame rail all the way from the brains of the truck up there all the way to the back. Like on a truck that has the middle tank here, there's a plug coming out of the wiring harness that goes to the sending unit. Like if you look back here on the rear tank, see there's a wire right there going into the sending unit in this tank, which gives you your fuel level on your dash and your instrument cluster. And from the factory, if you have both tanks, there's a transfer pump in here between them, and basically the rear 40 tank feeds this front one, and then it goes from the front one up to the truck. So I don't know how all that would work and how you would even go about, you know, wiring it in basically. So that's kind of what's got me held up there. Now the third thing I don't like is on these trucks, if you've checked into them at all, basically the standard thing from the factory is a dual battery setup, just like any other diesel truck, but they've got them, the battery box is integrated into this step here under the driver door. It sits between those two braces, got a nice little plastic cover. It even has a stud over on this side that comes out you can hook onto for a jump start, and then it has a plug on a bracket on this side, like a 110 cord. You can plug it in, and that's your block heater. A real nice setup, but whoever ordered this truck didn't go for that option. They went for the triple battery option. And when you order one of these trucks with the triple battery from the factory, they just, of course, you know, from the manufacturer, it's just the chassis cab, the bed, and all that stuff's not there. So they have the three batteries temporarily mounted back here right behind the cab. So I'm guessing whoever ordered this truck got the 3 battery option, which is right here now. They probably got the 3 battery option so they could have the 2 for the pickup and the cranking batteries, and then they'd have 1 battery to power this electric over hydraulic dump stuff. So that bummed me out, because I really like the battery setup that most people have up there. And you know, the Easy Loader, it requires its own 2 batteries, and they actually need to be on the passenger side for the absolute best setup. And then that means right here on the driver's side I can have a nice big toolbox that's easily accessible right when I get out the truck. So I really wish they would have had the standard dual option integrated into the step up there. So that's some of what I do like and what I don't like about the truck. And this video was just a intro to the new Bee Wagon. And if I stick to my plan, it's going to be the first in a playlist showing some modifying that I got to do to this thing to get it rigged up to be the Bee Wagon. The first of which is going to be cutting the flatbed loose from the dump and getting this dump crap out of here. So hopefully I can post that and sell it. So if any of y'all are interested, it's for sale. So thank y'all for tuning in to the Bee Wagon introduction. Hopefully she treats me well and we have lots of years of service together. Only time will tell, but thank y'all for tuning in and hope y'all stick around for the following videos. Talk to y'all later.